Viva Las Vegas, baby. Alrighty, fellow travelers, welcome back to the Adventures of a Traveling Don, and the journey across the West series continues. We have made it now here to the desert, here in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's right, we are in the city of sin, the city of lights, and the city of broken dreams and losing all your money. Or you might be lucky and win your money too. Sorry, I didn't mean to take a dark path there, but yeah, so in this particular video I'm going to be taking you around mainly the strip part, the main strip here in Las Vegas, and we're going to kind of teach you a little budget tricks, tips, things where you can have a good time here in Vegas and yet on very little. So come along and let's go save some money here in Las Vegas. Okay, so if you're gonna start off any trip here in Vegas, particularly if it is your first time, and particularly if you're trying to do something budget friendly, come on down here to the very south end of the strip here, and of course the iconic Las Vegas sign. You gotta get a picture of yourself with that. It is free to get a picture. Now, there's a couple ways that it works. If you're here on the side, you can just kind of like, you know, snap a little selfie of yourself or have someone take a picture for you. But however, if you want to be on the green kind of like turf over there and get the front end picture, usually they will have volunteers. It is still free. They have free parking and it is free to get the picture, but they do, you know, these are people that are photographers that are working on donations and tips. So if you want to tip them, you absolutely can. They usually give you the best pictures. There is a lot of times a line, so you're going to want to come here either early if you want to not deal with the line, or sometimes it just kind of all depends. I mean, I've been here at times at night when there's no wait whatsoever, but it's a give or take. Sometimes you'll get a tour bus that'll roll up and like 100 people will walk right off and you're like, well, crap. But yeah, so if you want kind of like the first thing you want to do, come down to the South Strip, get a picture with the famous sign, built in 1959 by, I believe, one of the first female US architects for neon signs as well. So little history with that too. So, but anyway, yeah, first, budget tip. Okay, so when you're done with the Las Vegas sign and you want kind of another budget-friendly place to come to, come right up the road, heading north on the right-hand side, basically as you're heading towards the strip. There's the Pinball Hall of Fame. You can't miss the sign. And it's actually really kind of cool and rather nostalgic because there's all of these pinball machines that date back to probably the 50s. And it's fantastic. Some of these I've never seen before. I mean, these go well beyond my age, and it's absolutely amazing. I would love to have brought my mom here if she was able to make this particular trip, because she'd probably be like, oh, I played this one, this one, and this one. So, but it's kind of cool because it is a non-profit organization. So when you come in here, it's generally about like 25 cents a play for most of the pinball machines. Maybe some of the other arcade games are a little bit more than that, but I didn't see anything that was above $1 for a play. So you could come in with 20 bucks, particularly if you spend on the pinball machines, at least a good hour, maybe two. Spend 20 bucks, have kind of a fun, nostalgic time with these pinball machines, and it'll all go to good causes. So the gentleman that first started this place, I believe his name is Tim Arnold, I believe I got that correct, but he was the one that started this as a non-profit organization. So any kind of money that comes through here goes to different non-profits, whether it's around, he tries to keep it mostly local, mainly because he has mostly local volunteers, and there's some Salvation Army stuff as well. But the people that come to volunteer here, this is the cool part, is the fact that whatever hours that they put in, particularly say if they're like a technician that they work on here, and I think they hire at like 20 bucks an hour, all of that money for the volunteers, say they work 10 hours at 20 bucks an hour, that's 200 bucks that's going to go towards an organization of their choice, as long as it is certified by, I think, Mr. Arnold, because he usually does a deep dive into what those organizations do. But I mean, it's one of the ladies, Beth, she was telling me how there's a guy from Michigan that comes down every year around Christmas time. He'll come here, work for a week or 2 weeks, and then he'll kind of take all that money that he's earned working here, and he'll put it towards a scholarship fund to a school in Michigan or Wisconsin, wherever he's from. And I was like, that's kind of cool. So if you're ever coming down here to Vegas and say you're not doing much during the daytime, I think you can come here, sign up, and whether it's tech stuff or if you're sweeping floors, dusting stuff, you know, I think the minimum wage here is $10.50. You can earn a few bucks for some organization, whether locally here or maybe potentially abroad. So you have to fill out some paperwork, all that stuff, but it's just kind of cool. It's just kind of like, it's a great kind of concept. And again, it's retro games at 25 cents a pop. That's fun. And that's budget friendly. So now, of course, the cheapest form of getting around Las Vegas is, of course, walking, which I do highly recommend. But there's gonna be times where, you know, it's a long walk to get from here on the south end all the way up towards the north end, whether you go into Strat or just ending up at like Circus or even the Wynn, which is even closer, but still, it's a hell of a long walk. So there are other options, and I'm going to showcase those to you throughout this video. And the first one, of course, is the buses. So let me show you how the bus works. So when it comes to the bus route, the best way to get around is on what's called the Dukes. This is run by the RTC here in Las Vegas, and it's about $8 for a 24-hour ticket. And you can go basically all the way from the South Transit Terminal all the way up to Fremont Street. And it's a kind of a great way to kind of see the city, because it's a double-decker bus. So you can kind of see where everything is, and it has multiple stops all along the way. And it runs about every 15 to 20 minutes, and it's about 24/7. So, you know, at any time of the day, you can come get it. I think at night, maybe you might have longer wait times, but it's still a great system, you know, particularly for $8 for a 24-hour thing. If you're trying to transverse the entirety of the Strip and all the way up to Fremont Street, it's not a bad deal at all. So Las Vegas has an abundance of cheap eats. Now, on the Strip, it gets a little bit harder because there's more of the higher end restaurants, or even anything on the Strip is gonna cost you just a little bit extra. But there are some options. You know, most of the resorts will at least have a food court that has, you know, the McDonald's, the Popeyes, all the fast food joints. But if you wanna stick away from fast food joints, one kind of fun little local spot right across the street from Mandalay Bay, here in this little parking lot, is a place called the Egg Shop. And it's just this kind of like outdoor seated little bakery and deli, and you can go in. I think they're open from about 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. They serve breakfast all day, and you can go ahead and get yourself whether it's a sweets or a smoothie or even something savory. So like myself, I got myself this this bagel with bacon, egg, and cheese. Just a very simple, easy, something protein and carbs just to kind of get me going throughout this late morning, early afternoon. So I'll give you a taste real quick. That's good. That's very, very good. You know, I think actually all of their bread products they make in-house, which is a really nice touch. And of course, known for those smoothies. Had to go ahead and get myself one, so let's go ahead and try this out. All right, smoothie time. We got the Blue Hulk, which has got blueberries, apple, I think also apple juice, spinach, and banana. I think I got all those correct, so. Ooh, that's good. And nice and cold on a hot day like this. It's actually not the hottest that it can be, but it's about like 99 and dry. I think by the time I leave, we're supposed to bump up to 112, so I'm like getting out of here at the right time. But, perfect on a day like this. So one thing that's always boggled me when it comes to the Luxor Hotel is the further you go up, the more you're basically, if you just look out from your ledge, you're basically, it's just straight down. It's kind of scary if you're afraid of heights. I usually don't have too much of a problem, but that's an issue because it's a fascinating way that they set this whole thing up. You know, to be inside a pyramid, but I don't know about that. So another budget hack getting around Vegas, particularly the Strip here. You've got two different sets of trams or monorails. On the west side, they're divided into two smaller ones. The east side, I'll show you in a little bit, that's the major monorail that kind of goes from the MGM all the way up to the Sahara. However, on the west side, which is kind of like Bellagio, New York, Mandalay Bay, all that stuff, you've got two different ones. And the first one starts in Mandalay Bay, takes you through to Luxor, and then ends at Excalibur. And then the second one is on the backside of Park MGM. You go through the casino, and then you just follow the signs to the tram, and those trams will take you, that tram will take you to the Crystal Shops, which connects to Cosmopolitan and Vizara, and then the final stop is right at the Bellagio station. So you've got some ways to kind of cut some time, you know, in and out when you're trying to travel as much of the Strip as possible. Also, something cool to remember is several of the casinos on either side are connected to an extent, particularly on this west side. So Mandalay and Luxor are connected, so you never have to actually go outside once you get inside Mandalay Bay or Luxor. You can walk in between those two in nice air-conditioned tunnels. Same thing with the Park MGM and the Aria, and I believe actually the Aria extends to the Crystal Shops, the Cosmopolitan. I don't think you go, there might be a point where you have to go out for a little bit and then you go back in. But there are ways to beat the heat while you're here in Vegas, as well as budgeting as well. So when it comes to like the main section of the Strip, one of the probably best bang for your bucks you're gonna find nowadays with all the new hotels and resorts that have gone up is probably still Excalibur. You know, it's the rooms are a little bit cheaper, not the best, but compared to the others, but it's still, they're comfortable rooms. But I would say definitely bang for your buck, whether it's slot machines or just kind of a place to get something to eat within a resort where it's not too expensive. Excalibur would be one of them. Even like the Tournament of Kings show, the dinner show, which I've been to once before, that's pretty cool. I think right now it's at sitting at 66 bucks and you get dinner with the show, which is fantastic. And then the one behind me right here, Dick's Last Resort, is honestly one of my favorite restaurants to really go to of all time. Not that the food is all that great, it's kind of like, you know, American pub grub food, but the people there, as it is, are dicks. They are meant to be sarcastic and slightly mean. Like they don't take it too far, but they take it to the border. There's no political correctness or anything, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, if you ever just want to get bashed while you're verbally bashed while you're eating your food, go to Dick's Last Resort here at Excalibur. It's a lot of fun. So I'd say personally, this is just my own personal opinion, of all the resorts here on the main block of the Strip, probably my favorite to come to and the most fun times I've had has probably been New York. I mean, there's so much to do here that is both, you know, in some ways kid-friendly and also, you know, adult-friendly. You have, of course, the roller coaster, you have the arcade, you have kind of like this block of bunch of different eateries in this sort of Brooklyn, Manhattan, New York style neighborhoods, the way that they set it up. It's really kind of cool. I like the aesthetics of it all. Most of those places you can find at least a plate that's under 20 bucks, if not 15 bucks. So it's semi-budget friendly to that aspect. And you know, my favorite bar on the strip, at least here, is the Nine Fine Irishman. We actually had a buddy of mine's wedding rehearsal dinner here, and it's such a great place. You just come. Now, it's not budget friendly when it comes to other places, when it comes to beer, because I got myself this nice, delicious Kilkenny. It's a red Irish ale that's done with a nitro spout. So it's really, really good, but it is 12 bucks. So it's not the cheapest when it comes to it. But you know, this is, if you want just one beer and maybe watch some live music later on, because they usually do live music at nighttime here at the Nine Fine Irishman, it's a good spot to come to. And like I said, New York, it's got a lot to offer. Is a 5-pound chocolate bar. It actually has some pretty decent, hefty weight to that. I mean, it's kind of cool. 50 bucks, I think, from what I saw on the back, but yeah, 10 bucks a pound for here in Vegas at the store. That's actually not too bad at all. I actually really like this Hershey store. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm a big chocolate lover, and this is my kind of store. If you're looking for a kiss, you got a whole wall right in front of you. And they don't discriminate. It's all different colors of kisses. So one thing of note I wanted to tell you guys, when you're doing the walking around the strip, one of the things you have to realize is from basically Tropicana all the way down to about Sands along Las Vegas Boulevard, if you're going to cross at any of the major crossings, either going north-south or definitely crossing over to the east-west sides, you have to go up and around on these platforms here. So they're gonna be all over the place, but sometimes they're a little tricky because some of them you have to go actually in a casino, out and around and up and down, and it's a whole thing with all of that. But they got rid of that, I think, somewhere like maybe 15, 20 years ago or something, when they started to implement that all across the strip and to widen the strip as well so they could get more flow with the car traffic, because before it used to be really, really congested here on Las Vegas Boulevard, because cars would have to wait miles and miles back either way just for people to cross. So, and particularly north and south, as people go from casino to casino, it was just a cluster F. We'll just go with that, and I'll try and keep it clean. So, but that is something that you just got to be aware of when you're walking around. You're going to be going across the bridges here. So, just thought I'd let you know. Okay, so this is actually going to be kind of new for me that I'm experiencing with you guys for the first time, because this is here at the Park MGM, and this used to be the Monte Carlo. What they've done is re-outfitted it. I think MGM now owns the whole property, changed the name, and they've changed this and added on this whole front section that's called Italy. Now, I've heard of Italy before. I think I've actually run through here once before, a couple of years ago, I think when it first opened, but I was on some other mission, different mindset, and I was coming from the casino, and I was like, oh, cool, but then I left. Now I'm actually taking the time to actually look around. This place is awesome. You're talking about like a piece of Italy while you're here in Las Vegas. This is amazing. Like, I wouldn't call this naturally budget friendly, because some of the places here can be a little pricey, particularly, you know, some of the wines or the olive oils that come from Italy. So that's going to be a little expensive. But outside of that, you know, you can have, there's a place that does a happy hour wine tasting for like three wines. It's like 2.5 ounces for 3 wines for 10 bucks, which is really nice. And you can find things like pizzas, Neapolitan style pizzas, pasta dishes for, you know, 15 to 20 bucks. So it's not going to break the bank, but this is actually really, really cool. Yeah, if you're ever in Vegas, even if you just walk in and check it out, check out Italy here at the Park MGM. This is awesome. Now, another spot for a budget-friendly Vegas is to check out, of course, the showcase area, which is right next to the MGM Grand, and that, of course, includes the famous M&M store and the Coca-Cola store. They're right next to each other. Now, I say budget friendly because you can go in there, you can get like half a bag or a half a pound of M&Ms for, you know, $8.99. You can go in and get relatively inexpensive stuff at the Coca-Cola store. You can spend a lot of money there as well, depending on how many souvenirs you're buying. But if you just go in for a bag of M&Ms and maybe some kind of unique Coke or something like that, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. And it's just really kind of cool to check out the store. The M&M store is personally my favorite. They have this massive wall of M&Ms. So it's like from the milk chocolate to the peanut to so many different types of stuff and all the different colors of the rainbow and everything. It's just absolutely amazing. And even kind of like the Coca-Cola store, the way that it's set up is really, really cool as well. So, and again, you're beating the heat by coming into these places, and even if you just walk around and check it out, take some photos, that's fine. But I would definitely at least get half a pound of M&Ms for $8.99. That's not too bad. Okay, so the third budget option that you have for travel around Las Vegas is the Las Vegas Monorail, and that starts in the back of MGM Grand and goes all the way up to Sahara, past the Wynn, past Paris, and past the Las Vegas Convention Center. It's kind of a great thing if you're here in town for a convention at the convention center for any reason, and you can just basically you can stay in you know, down here as far as like the MGM or New York, just come through the MGM and take it all the way up. You know, that it is one of the ones that is paid for, but I think it's also runs 24/7, whereas in the smaller trams on the other side that I showed you that connected Bellagio and Aria and Mandalay Bay and Excalibur, those have a specific time where they end throughout the night. This one, because you have to pay to get in, you have a ticket, I believe it runs 24/7, I believe so. But either way, it's still rather inexpensive. You know, a 24-hour pass is about, I think, $15 if you pay at the kiosk, or it's like $13.75 if you pay and get it through an app. So it's actually better to just kind of scan and get it through an app instead of buying a ticket at the kiosk. It's cheaper that way. It saves you a few bucks, particularly at the very higher end if you're here for like a week or something like that. But it is still kind of a cool, very fast way. It's a fast monorail, and it gets you where you need to be pretty quick. And it stops around, I think it stops at Paris, I think it stops at the Linq. I believe it also stops at, of course, the Wynn, and then all the way up through to Sahara. So you can cover quite a bit of ground real fast here with the Las Vegas Monorail. Alright, so it's been a while since I've had something to eat back at the egg shop earlier in the video. And one of my favorite places to come when you're on the Strip specifically is to the Paris Hotel. The Paris Hotel, I've always loved it. It's absolutely fantastic. But they have in the back kind of like a Parisian rue or Parisian street. And as you walk along, it's really decked out, really kind of nice. There are several different restaurants and shops. Some of them are a little bit pricey. But there's one called JJ's Boulangerie, which has a creperie and a pizza joint. And I like to come here for the crepes. The crepes here are fantastic. They're massive. They're kind of like a very traditional sized crepe. You can watch them make the crepes right there, so you know what you're getting. And I, of course, got myself the Nutella crepe. So this is with Nutella, caramel, bananas inside, a little powdered sugar, some hazelnut. It's just, it looks absolutely fantastic. And we're digging into it. Give you a bite real quick. Oh, so sweet, so good. Yeah, one of my favorite little gems here in the backside of Paris. Not a lot of people will think about it, but absolutely fantastic. So this next segment, we're gonna stick to the east side for a little bit of a while. So this is the east side of the strip. It's kind of going north past Paris, going towards Harrah's, Linq and all that. The first place after Paris is what is called the Horseshoe. This actually used to be the Bally's Hotel, and I don't remember when they actually changed it over because this is my first time seeing Horseshoe. But this kind of like shopping district that you have here, which is the Grand Bazaar shops, this has been around for a few years, and it looks like it's going under some more renovation. New shops are going to be coming in, so some new stuff to look forward to. But it's a great spot to kind of come and get some souvenirs, or also if you are looking for food or drink under, again, 20 bucks. That's my biggest thing, is every meal specifically being under $20. Now, a meal and a drink will get you maybe above that. But if you can get a meal, like a hearty food dish, whether it's a burger, a crepe, an egg sandwich, and a smoothie, if you can get that under 20 bucks and you're doing maybe 3 of those in a day, you're pretty much winning here in Vegas. That's $60. There are places off the strip where you can get a full meal for $5.99, like steak and eggs. But specifically on the strip, that's how you gotta watch and think of your budget, is per meal, trying to get it, keep it under 20 bucks, and if you add drinks, maybe another 10 to 12. So that's kind of where you're at when it comes to budgeting in Vegas. An Elvis made of jelly beans. That's a new one. Alright, so now we've come down to the Linq Promenade. So this is between the Linq and Harrah's, and it's kind of a cool spot because it comes off the strip. You got, again, a bunch of different restaurants, bars, shops. I would say coming down here, you do get slightly lesser costs on certain things than you would on the main strip throughout the main resorts. And of course, the highlight of it is the high roller, as you can see behind me. That's the big Ferris wheel here in Las Vegas. And it's a really cool thing to go up to. Now, you can get your tickets for, I think it's like 24 bucks for a general admission. Now, that's from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. After 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. when they shut it down, then you need an anytime ticket. And those anytime tickets are $66, I believe. There's a bunch of different prices. Also, there's a few of the pods that have, I think there's like 4 of them on the rotation of, there's probably like 2 dozen to 30 pods. Those ones have bars within them as well, and that's also a separate ticket. That's like 62 bucks specifically for those pods for the admission, and that's at any time. That's another anytime one. So it's kind of cool. It's a cool setup. And what I think is kind of neat is they've actually just recently added a zip line to go across the Linq Promenade as well, which I don't remember that being here before. So I think that's brand new. But yeah, this is actually a really kind of cool strip to come down while you're on the strip. It just gives you a little off-strip detour. If you're truly looking for budgeting here on Las Vegas Boulevard, the spot you really gotta go to is one of the last holdouts of the classics, and that is behind me here at the Casino Royale. They've since, I think over the last few years, done a lot of renovation, but it is still relatively cheap compared to the rest. It's a smaller one, it's run by Best Western, and it's a spot where it's near and dear to my heart, because I used to work at the Outback upstairs, and that's probably one of the best Outbacks in the country when it comes to, number one, making money, and number two, the food quality, because they actually do prime cut steaks, whereas I think most Outbacks only go up to choice cuts, so you have more options with that. But yeah, you want to come out here, like at the bar, you can get like first 20 bucks is free play as long as you're playing on the video poker tables, and also they do $3 domestic beers. So it used to be $1, particularly for like the Mick Ultras, but I think it's now all $3. But even still, a $3 bottle of beer at a casino bar on the strip, usually that runs you 8, 9, 10 bucks. So definitely bang for your buck. Come here to the Casino Royale, check it out. If you need a big old meal to help coat the stomach, go upstairs to the Outback, get yourself a nice prime cut steak for cheaper than you would at Ruth Chris's or any other major steakhouses here on the Strip. It'll be well worth it. And if they're still there, say hi to Scott or Claire, some of my old buddies I used to work with at the place. They're still there bartending. So, but anyway, yeah, Casino Royale, budget-wise, you gotta check it out. Now, I would say aesthetically, when it comes to how a casino and the resorts look, the Venetian is probably my personal favorite look-wise, mainly because I've been to Venice a few different times, and you know, it's got little bits and parts of it. Obviously, you got, of course, on the outside you have, you know, a rendition of the Rialto Bridge, and of course the famous Campanile. And then when you go inside, it has all the different canals that kind of run through the main part. And they do, of course, you can get a gondola ride as well. Now those are not cheap, so that is not something I would put technically in a budget video to say that it is budget friendly. But it is still a very, very cool cool thing to do. Like if it's something, one of the things that I would say to splurge on, do a gondola ride and, you know, just enjoy your time as they serenade you through the fake sky above you inside. So, but yeah, definitely aesthetic wise, the Venetian, my personal favorite here on the Strip in Las Vegas. Now, when it comes to free shows here in Las Vegas, the three that are most well known are, of course, the Bellagio Water Light Show, the Fire Show over at the Mirage, and of course the one here at Treasure Island, the Pirate Show. Now, there's only two that still go on. It's actually been about a decade. I think 2013 was when they shut down the Treasure Island Pirate Show. So for those that haven't been to Vegas in a while, or just never clocked it before, this doesn't exist anymore. Like, the pirate ship and the fountains are still here on both sides as kind of like a memorial to that. But I think for Treasure Island, particularly with all the other new hotels coming up, they could not afford the salaries of the actors to continuously doing a free show. And it's kind of sad because it was really a cool show. And I enjoyed it several times when I was a kid when we'd come down here with the family. But unfortunately, it no longer exists. However, the other two do. And we're going to try and at least capture the Bellagio one. The Mirage will depend on if the wind picks up or not. Because it is a fire show, they are very weather dependent. But we'll see if we can't get both of them. some heat. I really, really do enjoy the Mirage Show. Now, the Mirage Show only happens once an hour, starting generally around 7 o'clock and going till about 10. So you usually get about four shows in a day. Now, that all does, again, depend on weather. Obviously, if it's raining, that's not going to happen. If the winds are high because it's a fire show, it's not going to happen. So it's a give or take. Just kind of depends on what's going on. But it's an awesome show, and I highly recommend coming to see it. Actually, a great spot to see it if you're not up here up front is at the Outback over there that I used to work at. If you can snag a window table, usually that's more kind of like prime seating, so it's very hard. Sometimes you have to wait. But if you can snag a window table, that has some of the best views, the window views of the Mirage Show. So just another little tip to kind of give you guys there. But yeah, I do love that show. It's so cool. Discovering a bunch of new spots since, you know, the last time I've been to Vegas, like properly on the Strip, and it's amazing. There's just one like right out front of Caesars where they do the Absinthe show, and in front of it is called the Green Fairy Garden, and it's really kind of cool because you walk in and it's got this beautifully lit up tree that kind of like goes from green to slightly bluish, and then they have a couple of different things around, such as, you know, a couple bars, a burger joint that, let me tell you right now, great burger. So they make it out of short rib, and it's 2 small patties on a pretzel bun. Wow, that is an absolutely fantastic burger. And yeah, you know, again, the burger is like 14 bucks, $19 for the combo with the tots, under $20. It's a nice little spot. If you're around the Caesar Palace area, definitely check out the Green Fairy Garden. Even if you're not going to the Absinthe show, just come in here for a burger. The drinks are a little expensive, obviously, but that burger was pretty dang good. So we finally made it to the Bellagio, and honestly, I saved this for last literally because of the beauty of this particular spot. And it's one of the biggest attractions now, and free attractions here in Las Vegas, and that is the Bellagio Gardens. One of the other big ones, of course, is the Fountain Show, which we'll go see in a second. But these gardens change every season, and I think it's different artists that kind of like create these landscapes, which are just absolutely gorgeous. I've been here multiple times over the years, and I don't think I've ever seen the exact same setup. Like, it's always changing every season, every year. There's something new, and it's absolutely fantastic. I think right now the one we've got going on is some sort of kind of like fairy lands. Maybe it's like some kind of like Fern Gully stuff without the tearing it apart. But it's really all about nature in this particular one. It's just absolutely amazing. So yeah, whenever you're in Las Vegas, come and check out the Bellagio, because even if you've seen it before, it's gonna be different than last time. Yeah, Bellagio Gardens. Bellagio water show. Now, they do that throughout the day. So I think they start it usually around 3:30, and then they run it, I think, every half an hour till 7. And then during the nighttime, from like 7 till I think about 11 o'clock or something like that. It's either 10 or 11. They will do it every 15 minutes. And I think they do it to different songs. So they kind of, like each show will be slightly different because the water moves to the different songs and they play different songs throughout the day. So it is kind of cool. You get different versions of it the longer that you watch it. And you can watch multiple ones within an hour if you want to just kind of sit there and watch, or stand there and watch it all. But it is a really, really kind of cool show. It's become such an iconic part of Vegas nowadays. And again, it is a free show to watch. So anyway, my feet are killing me. It's time to head back to the hotel and rest up for tomorrow. All right, I'm exhausted. I'm pooped. I've been out there 12 hours, in and out of the heat. Bus, just, ugh. I'm exhausted. I've walked about 12 miles today, and it's been a long day. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys got some tidbits there of some budget stuff that you can do here in Las Vegas. There's actually quite a bit more. Particularly you get off strip. I mean, you can find places to eat. Like I tried to, on the strip, cap it like each meal under 20 bucks. And you know, today we spent probably, I think with tip, maybe about $85, $90. So for a single person to keep yourself under 100 bucks in a day in Vegas is actually really, really good, particularly if you're just on the strip. If you get to places outside the strip, you know, 100 bucks will go even further. There's places you can get like steak and eggs for $5.99. There's places that you can get cheap food at like the video poker bars. You know, as long as you go in there and you drop like a 20 in the video poker machine, you get a free drink, things like that. There's a lot of different ways that you can get free drinks and stuff that I really didn't go into here because a lot of it is off the strip or it's very nuanced on the strip. Like people will think, oh, if I sat at a slot machine, eventually some girl will come by, take my drink order and bring it back to me. They've gotten really good about that where, number one, if you're sitting at a slot machine, you're offered a drink, usually it takes time for them to get to you, initially to get the order, and it takes time for them to come back. So you're sitting at that slot machine for sometimes half an hour or so before you get your drink. And those cameras are constantly watching you to see, hey, is this guy even, or girl, are they pressing the button? Are they at least hitting something? So that usually it's not a big deal. But again, if you want to wait half an hour for a drink sometimes, that's what you got to do sometimes. So plus it's not fully free because you want to tip your waitress as well. But the stuff that I went over in this particular video is stuff that you can automatically, easily do, some places you can eat, some places you can kind of go drink, and keep yourself within about 100 bucks and get a good foot workout as well, because 13 miles a day, 12, 13 miles, excuse me, it was just, and particularly in that dry 99, 100 degree heat. Ugh, that was fun. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I very, very much appreciate it. And I did want to give one big shout out here at the end of the video. I have now officially, of shooting this, my very first Patreon, my dear friend Mia. Thank you so, so much. If you guys missed her, she was in the LA Asian food tour video. I'll leave a link in the description. You can check that out if you haven't already. And I believe she might actually be joining me for the next video. So stay tuned for that here on the Fremont Street Experience in Vegas. And that will cap off our journey across the West. But until we meet again here in Las Vegas to finish off this Western trip, guys, have a great night. Peace out. And I'll see you next time.